Hey everyone, my name is Greer, and ignore this stuff for now. I'm just setting up for later. First off, sorry for not uploading Wednesday. I was doing a lot of shit this week, and yeah. But anyway, today is another album review. I don't have any physical media of this, although I eventually plan to. Today, can't see, we're using this doohickey here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so don't ask me. We're reviewing the 2001 album Sinner by Drowning Pool. This is, I think I mentioned this in my review, on my last album review of Love Songs for the New Millennia. I consider this to be one of few perfect albums in my eye. Now, I have the okay, it's just some shit there. I actually I couldn't find the goddamn original version, so we're just working with Anniversary here. But yeah, I'll just go through this in order. So it only seems there's 3 things. Okay. First song on the album, Sinner itself. Um Probably one of my favorite songs on here. I like it. One reason I like this so much is because I can relatively sing it pretty okay, or at least some parts. I can't do, even though it's not particularly, what's the word? Because it is very impressive vocals, but it's not particularly. I guess it doesn't sound like metal vocals that I'm used to personally. I listen to a lot of Slipknot, but even some of the stuff I can't hit, but I can hit the like what the chorus and some of the verse vocals. I can hit some of those. But Sinner, we got lyrics. Fuck. Why the fuck don't you have lyrics? Anyway, yeah, I think this is such a strong start to the album because it gets the point across immediately. Starting with I'm gonna delve my hand at just turn up the audio because I don't think this thing works without headphones. Y'all probably don't hear this. Aha. That's probably audible. I don't know. It starts off strong with this. I'll see how loud this is. Yeah, it starts immediately with that guitar, which I really like. Shit, I forgot to skip over why I like this album. I like this album for a lot of reasons. It's mainly just because I think this is probably my favorite vocal performance ever. It really is a shame. Um, Sorry, I act like I'm a professional, but I don't know shit. Um, Dave Williams, lead singer for this album, really is a shame he died so early because this is probably the most talented vocalist I can think of, like just in general. I love how he's able. It's a, I guess to compare it to something, it's like a lighter version of Corey Taylor in a way, where he can switch back and forth effortlessly between the more typical metal screams and pretty good, like just regular singing. Now, 2 times speed is fun. No, I'm not gonna do a full breakdown of the lyrics or this album because I don't got time. But those are the first words of the album, and I think it fits it perfectly because I my personal opinion view this album as kind of a declaration of independence in a way. Like the first song on the album is called Sinner, something that some cultures believe is very taboo. And the essentially first things you hear in this album, outside of the instrumental, is someone talking about abuse in some form of way. Now, I think, now, what the fuck am I don't script these, if you can't tell. I like this kind of just sit down and talk format, even if it does drag in places. And I do realize people don't watch very far into my videos, but I don't mind, because I have people who do, and I respect them. Also, thank you. Another thing, just bring it up now, do the YouTube stuff. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you enjoy it, comment if you have any, like, opinions. Yeah, thank you. But, I think this is just such a strong start to the album, because it just is, if that makes sense. God damn, I'm already going longer than this fucking song is. I'll get to the chorus. Now here's the chorus. I love this chorus. Just in general, like, I think it is very good. I think it, again, it really gets into that theme of self-separation and being one's self, even though most people might think that is not a good thing. They're stupid. But that's really all I have to say about this. Next up, the most iconic song of the album, and one person, and every single person who ever existed in the 2000s probably knows of this song. Are you gonna get an ad? Yes, jackass. Fuck you. That's how this starts. Because if I remember correctly, Sinner, essentially, it's a typical song format where it starts immediately, kind of slows down, chorus is another high, and then it kind of slows down, have a redo of the chorus, like almost exactly, like same inflections kind of deal, kind of like Animal I Have Become. Is that the fucking song name? I'm stupid. Kind of like that, where there's difference in the inflections, but the final one is always the same as the first. So it closes out, and then you hear whispering, and then it's that. So I would argue, in a way, I feel like this could have been a better first song. Would understand why they didn't do it, because it's kind of like, okay, so this is a good album, and then it immediately slaps you in the face with the energy and stuff. I don't really have a lot to say about this. It's iconic for a reason, and it's a good song, but nothing much to say. Tear Away, third song. I don't have much to say about it, honestly. It's pretty good. It's more similar in vein to the fuck. Okay. It's more similar in vein to Sinner, as in there's more traditional style vocals instead of metal, from what I remember. All Over Me, fourth song on the album. Immediately, I love this intro because it's different from anything else we've heard up till this point. You know, there's the heavy emphasis on the drums once the energy starts to kick in, which I really enjoy. I like drum heavy beats with stuff like that. Like let me think. Like Rob Zombie style stuff, I think is very fun. Right here. Now unlike traditional songs and the songs before this on the album, it keeps the same energy and pace as the bridge and chorus, instead of bursting at the seams with energy like other songs, for instance. So instead of being like, you know, chorus down here, bridge somewhere up here, or maybe same level, and then chorus being anywhere from up here to up here, it's same level essentially, which I think is very good because it keeps, but it's still a consistent energy. Reminded, probably in my top 3 of the album. What the fuck do you want, you piece of shit? What the fuck are you? Yeah, I don't give a shit. Can I skip now? Fuck. I love this intro. Fun fact, that's probably the only vocal thing I can imitate from this album that isn't traditional singing. But that's such a strong intro after All Over Me, which is pretty like mild energy, like up here. This one starts low, and then again, like traditional song writing, I guess, immediately steps up. Okay. Again, I don't have much to say about the lyrics of this song. It's a vibe, if that makes sense. Almost halfway through, we'd be. That's just another good point to bring up. As far as I remember, and again, I'm not listening to these in full right now, and it's been a month since I've listened to this album in full, but this is, I think, one of the first choruses to be fully in metal style vocals instead of kind of switching back. Well, no, bodies. I'm stupid. Anyway, although I'll be honest, I kind of see it as I see bodies as a separate entity from the album, if that makes sense, because I feel like it's released its own. Like essentially, it's kind of just grown beyond it. Pity. Let's see. Another good intro. Okay, it's this one. I like this one because this is something that I've noticed a good bit in some albums. There are some songs where the energy is so high, it's almost hard to keep pace with it. A good example is some Korn songs, like the chorus of Wicked from Life is Peachy. It's a good example where you can follow it, but it's almost like kind of jittery in the way you're trying to go with it, if that makes sense. I like that. I like that kind of element in some songs, and I think it's very unique. Mute. Let's see what this one is. Another strong intro. Okay, it's this one. This one is kind of it takes the formula of going up and down with energy and kind of like hills and valleys with it. And this is one thing I notice. This one vocals only start at the minute mark or about 50 seconds, which is something kind of common I noticed, but it's really good. Let's see what this is. Because again, I don't remember everything from this album. Fuck off. Fuck off. We gonna load? Shit. Okay, so this is a pretty low energy song from what I'm gathering, with a couple high moments. So it's taking that kind of again, it's essentially making the high moments feel even higher by having everything around it kind of lower. It's like I don't remember his name, but it's like that one guy who fucking electrocutes his friend's legs to make him taller in the photo. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Am I just rambling? Anyway, follow. almost done. 2 more after this. And then I'll cover one of the bonus songs. Another strong intro. Although... one thing I will say, and I do recognize this as both a criticism and a point to it, the songs feel somewhat samey in a way. There's a somewhat quiet intro, then, instrumental starts, then the vocals kind of start out slow, then go high, then go low again, then go high, and it ends the song on a kind of just, not fade out, but where everything stops abruptly, which, again, it is very samey, but it's also where each song kind of has a natural separation to it. One criticism, I brought this up earlier. I totally planned this. Life is Peachy. I hate most of this album. I hate most of that album because the entire first half up until Wicked kind of blends together, which is something I cannot say about the album that came before it. They're self-titled. But, yeah, so sameness and flow is definitely something I take into consideration. Told you so. This is another good one. Another similar thing to, like a mixture of, I believe it was Mute and, I Am, I think. It's a mixture of the ones where I said it's kind of flat across the board for energy-wise, and then the kind of one where it's hard to follow. This is like a melding of those two ideas, where it kind of has a similar, and then it hits you immediately with the kind of hard to follow. So it's kind of like a jolt awake, essentially. Next song and final song on the album, Sermon. This one's pretty low energy. I remember the song pretty okay, because, you'll always remember the beginning and the end of the album. It's pretty low energy, which is fitting, because I also noticed... I fucking pressed pause. You notice trends when you listen to music as much as I do. There's, again, you always want to start out strong. You always want to make an impression, immediately set the tone. Then you want to give as much energy as you can, kind of give it a little alleviation, kind of hit back up towards like the 75% mark. Then you're either going to go out on your strongest or your lowest. An example of going on the strongest is the last album I reviewed, Love Songs for the New Millennium, where it is, I don't remember the song name, but it's the highest energy song of it all. And again, it's that kind of thing where it's you're trying to go along with the beat, but it's kind of hard to keep up with. An example of going out on your lowest would be Scissors with Slipknot. But this is definitely an example of the former. But it is a very good closer, and it fits. It's kind of a book ending it, if you will. The first song, Sinner, it's setting the idea of immediately being different, being taboo in a way. And then the final song, Sermon, is kind of essentially, it is sticking to the same religious theming, but also using it in its own way, where there's a difference between, a normal Christian sermon, which is, it's a Christian sermon, what do you want? And then there's a difference between something like this, where it's less of, do this and this because Cloud Guy said so, and it's more of explaining why and giving reasons is how I describe it in a way. But, that's the album. We're done. Fucking 20 minutes. That's almost as long as the album. The album's, I think, 32 or 38 minutes. That's another good thing. It's a very short album, but I think it's perfect for it, because it's not too short to where, like, I want more now, but it's also not too long where it's, okay, this is dragging. There's something I notice specifically, because I'm a person who always wants to sit down and listen to an album. There's something I notice called album fatigue, where about the 5th or 6th song, if it's not like this, where it's always high energy enough, it's kind of like, okay, this is blending together, which, again, Life is Peachy hits that immediately up until about Wicked, where it kind of wakes up with that and kind of has separation between songs. Also, another thing. I do like Jonathan Davis's vocal style. I'm not a hater on Korn. I do like most of the music that I've listened to. I listened up to the third one, and I'm only about halfway through. I stopped listening a while back. But anyway, back onto this. I would give this album, again, a solid 9.99 out of 10, which technically isn't perfect, but it's enough to where it's essentially a non-factor in it. Again, there's some sameness, but you can argue that either way of if it's good or it's bad. But I would 1,000% recommend you listen to this album. It is 100% worth your time, even if you're just a surface metal, surface level metal fan. I think you'd enjoy it, because again, it's a nice fluctuation with the album structure. But anyway, yeah, that's my review. I will be uploading 3 times today since I didn't upload on Wednesday. But yeah, thanks for watching me for at this point. Again, do the YouTube stuff. Subscribe if you want more of this. Like if you liked what I had to bring to the table. And if you have any other points that you'd like to bring up or have any constructive criticism for me, leave a comment. I have to be dyslexic. How the fuck am I putting up 4 fingers? Bye, all.